Back out at our property again. Still really cold. I think it's 11 degrees out right now. Tonight is supposed to get down to -3 though. Let me turn the camera around and I'll show you what the guys here have been working on. So Jessica and I were out here yesterday just kind of looking at grading, seeing where we wanted a little bit more dirt added. And I think what we're gonna do is they just dumped this load here. We want maybe 1 or 2 more loads right in front of the garage approach to level that off a little bit more. And then this approach over here on this side of the driveway, the gravel drive will be a little bit steeper, but we're gonna take and grade out where this ditch is with some clay a little bit more, fill in this ditch. This was always a wet spot here, but now that we have so much fill in this area, it should no longer be wet any longer. Let's go on up here, take a look. You know, there's been a ton of dirt moved. This wasn't even here the last time you guys saw. The guys from Finney Trucking came out here on a Saturday and hauled in all of this dirt here. Also moved a little bit of the framing that was sitting over here so that they could go ahead and add that fill in there. And you can see down there in the driveway, a lot more sand down that way. So almost getting to our final grade down there, that final level that we will need. And then the driveway will be coming right up this direction, hooking around this edge and coming right up here to our garage approach. We'll head on back here and watch them load a few loads from the pond. But things are definitely really cold. Great view though from the top of our house foundation. Can see down here in the basement, definitely still have some snow. The water is not froze down here in the crock, so we're hoping that we're not gonna get any heaving. I did notice one crack right here. Might be kind of hard to see if you look straight down this wall. Comes up into this pocket where the beams are gonna be. Doesn't look like it goes all the way through though, so it should just be a surface crack. Our builder said they're just gonna go ahead and put some epoxy when they go ahead and get everything all framed in and get this house actually getting some heat into it. One of the biggest concerns is still heaving, especially with this cold weather. But we have 2 more weeks before they're out here and doing any framing. So that time cannot come soon enough, and we're just really hoping that this foundation survives and doesn't have any issues with it, hopefully for the next couple weeks. Let me run out there now and we'll see how much of the pond is dug, and then we will come back here and take a look at the driveway. Jumping into the drone video now. This is usually where I start. I'm probably at an altitude around 75 feet. Bulldozer's just going ahead and leveling off some of that dirt that the off-road dump truck just dumped there, that we were going to build up the cement approach that will be in front of the garage. So that area looks pretty nice and level, just a little bit of a grade to it, flying directly over to the house, and we can start to see a little bit of the shape, the final shape of the pond, where that sand has been taken out of. So should be right around a half an acre. We had pretty much on this closest side of the pond no sand, and on the far side looks like it starts getting to a little bit more whiter sand, 3-4 feet over there on that side. And they still needed some more sand for the driveway, so that's why the excavator is here digging out this corner a little bit further. After they went ahead and cleared off all the sand, started digging out the pond and got a lot of that clay out, they needed to go back and fill in this area where the sand was taken out of. So that's been filled back in with clay. We'll probably let the farmer go ahead and farm that this year. Otherwise, it would just probably grow up into being weeds. We're not going to mow all the way around this pond. That would be a lot to have to mow. Good thing that I did get a 0-turn mower though, so I can't wait to get out there, get some grass planted. I know there's probably a lot of people watching my video that can't even believe that I'm saying that, but it's just such an exciting time in our life to be able to design this exactly how we want it to be. I can't wait for springtime to come. We got a lot of trees ordered from the Arbor Day Foundation, a lot of maples, a few Norwegian spruce to go ahead and try to block off a little bit of the road noise, and got a couple apple trees as well, so I'm thinking about putting some of the apple trees back here. I still need to go ahead and trim the apple tree on the other side of our property where they went and took sand out of that other area. I did Google and find out when I'm supposed to be trimming that though, and they said late winter. So we're coming up on that time frame pretty soon. I'm going to have to get out there, trim it up, and hopefully it produces a couple more apples this year. I'm sure it will help when we go ahead and plant the new apple trees over here, that it will probably get pollinated a little bit better, but it has been neglected for so many years that I'm sure that's part of the reason why it's not producing as much. It's too tall, there's too many limbs. Great area over here on the left side of the pond. This is right where we're going to head and putting the dock in. So the dock's already in at the time of me filming this voiceover as well. We ended up hauling a ton of dirt on our property. Our total is at 8,800 cubic yards at the time of me filming this voiceover, and I think we're done hauling for now. We should be pretty much wrapping up excavating. I think I have 6 or 7 or 8 videos in this series of just a lot of dirt moving, bringing all of this clay and the sand around the house, as well as bringing it down here on the driveway. So I definitely enjoy watching a lot of this work happen. And now we're back to the house. I will leave the video playthrough. The off-road dump truck's going to go ahead, turn around, and dump another load up over here where the approach is. I'm just trying to bring that up to a little bit higher grade. Again, I think they were trying to find sand with as little frost in it as possible so that they didn't have these huge sand chunks that they had to go ahead and level off. But we can kind of see a little bit of that topsoil in the background in the hills yet. That is one of the projects that needs to be worked on in the springtime. So that will be the last little bit of excavating that they will bring the bulldozer back out, bring that topsoil back over the top of the sand and the clay. Septic field needs to go in, as well as the septic system. And then the gravel needs to go on the driveway. I guess it's not really considered gravel though. We're actually going to use crushed concrete. Going to save us a little bit of money instead of using that crushed limestone stone mix. We can also see in this shot where they ended up moving a little bit of that framing to over here on the right hand side. I don't think I mentioned it yet in this video, but at the time of me filming this voiceover, they are going to be framing this week. So that will be pretty cool to actually see these structures starting to rise out of the ground. The foundation was sure sticking out of the ground quite a bit, but now that we have all this fill around it, it's just up on this little tiny hill, and then this framing will be added to the top of that foundation, and yeah, that'll be the start of our first floor on our dream home. Checking out the progress on the pond here. Looks like we're almost getting to the final outline of it. Kind of where it ends down here on this side, begins over here on this side, and extends out there. Probably just need to take out that last corner right where the excavator is sitting, and the off-road dump truck is as well. After they go ahead and take that out, then we will go to digging the clay out. So this rest of this clay will be going all around the rest of the outside of the house, over here on the master bedroom side, and in the front where we plan on putting a lot of that grass. Kind of interesting looking at the different kinds of sand though. Looks like this was more of a loamy, like red sand, and over here it looks more like a white sand. Always interesting checking out the geology here. Probably go ahead and jump over here on this side. Watch them load one more truck. I'll include that raw video at the end of this video, and then we'll go check out the driveway. I'm going to zip up to 400 feet in altitude with the drone real quick, see what things look like from way up here. You can see some of those dock sections that I have in place over there next to the pond. So next couple videos we'll go ahead and install those once they're done digging the clay. Definitely ended up being a really deep pond, 22 feet deep. And just thinking of that depth, it doesn't seem really deep, but when they actually get out there and start digging it, and you go down into the bottom of that hole and look up, it's a lot deeper than I thought it was going to be. Down here standing in the driveway, you can see that they tied in our water line, so we already have water to the house even though we don't have any walls up yet, but I'm sure the drywallers will like that when they go ahead and start mudding that drywall, that they already have water. They will go ahead and hook that up when the framing and everything's all done on the house though. And this is the driveway area. So a couple more loads of sand here, and this will be filled in all the way across over here on this side. Culverts sitting over here still need to go in yet, but yeah, things are getting really close. Still need to fill in this mud hole here, that little frog pond that Jessica doesn't like. So those stumps sitting there, they're gonna go ahead, bring the excavator and toss that in there and fill that in the rest of the way. But yeah, this is looking good. This will be all done today. They will have sand all the way across on this side. And that's probably how it will stay till springtime, since we already have the other driveway over there on that side that they're able to access the house from. Springtime, they can probably go ahead, bring gravel back across the top of this, and then we can go ahead and start driving on it. The drone is probably about 300, 400 feet altitude, pretty high up. I just wanted to include this last little clip. I was checking out the driveway, how the sand was coming across, making sure it's at the correct angle that we want it to be. You might notice those blue greenish SDR 35 6-inch lines there. We were going to go ahead and include those in this low spot here right in the middle of the driveway to allow water to drain across there. We didn't end up putting those in though, because we're going to upgrade that to probably a 10-inch culvert. Won't get plugged as easy as those other lines, and that will be going in the springtime. They really just wanted to go ahead, get this sand across, because in that low area with the off-road dump truck kept coming across, those pipes would probably just get drove even further down into the ground. So now that we have a nice roadway across here, they can dig up that area in the springtime before the gravel goes in, lay in that 10-inch culvert, cover it back up with the sand, and then put the gravel across it. A lot of nice white birch trees along the driveway here. Those are Jessica's favorite, and we will definitely be having a few of those around the house. I know paper birch sometimes gets a borer in it, so hopefully we never have that happen, but they're definitely worth it. We'll just have some maple trees as backups in case they do end up dying to replace them. But we will probably go ahead and maybe spade some larger white birch trees, as when these are young, they do not have that typical white paper birch color. So if you wait till they're old enough, you can spade them out and they'll already be white, so that you know that you have white birch trees. And we'll probably get these from my parents' property. Up north, they got quite a few up there that we should be able to pick from. I'm going to stop talking now and let some of this raw video play through so you guys can enjoy that. If you haven't yet, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. If you're not subscribed to the channel, and if you have any questions and comments, make sure you leave those down below. And until the next one, I'll see you then. Thanks for watching, and make sure you hit the thumbs up button if you enjoyed this video. Also, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss the next videos I will be posting, and leave your questions, comments, and suggestions below.